students, in previous class we studied solution. The substances which are soluble in water form solutions. In today's class, we are going to discuss suspensions. Those substances which are insoluble in water form suspensions. So let's understand it. A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture in which the small particles of a substance is spread throughout a liquid without dissolving in it. Some common examples of suspension are chalk water mixture, muddy water, milk of magnesia, sand particles suspended in water, etc. Chalk water mixture is a suspension of fine chalk particles in water. Muddy water is a suspension of soil particles in water. And there is a very important here. Milk of magnesia is a suspension of magnesium hydroxide in water. Now let's understand. Solid particles and water remain separate in a suspension. The particles do not dissolve in water. Now observe what happens when a beam of light passes through a chalk and water suspension. It scatters the beam of light and renders its path visible inside it. Why? Because the particles of suspension are quite large. It allows to reflect. That is why path is visible inside it. Now come to properties of a suspension. There are some important properties of suspension. First one, a suspension is a heterogeneous mixture. The second one, the size of solute particle in a suspension is quite large. It is larger than 100 nanometer in diameter. Third one is the particles of a suspension can be seen easily. Fourth, the particles of a suspension do not pass through a filter paper. So, a suspension can be separated by filtration. The suspensions are unstable. The particles of a suspension settle down after some time. The next, a suspension scatters a beam of light passing through it. Why? Because its particles are quite large. Now dear students, come to the next topic, that is colloids. A colloid is a kind of solution in which the size of solid particle is intermediate between those in true solutions and those in suspensions. Means the size of solid particles in a colloid is bigger than that of a true solution but smaller than those of a suspension. Though colloids appear to be homogeneous to us, but actually they are found to be heterogeneous when observed through a high powerful microscope. So, a colloid is not a true solution. Some of the examples of colloids are soap solution, starch solution, milk, ink, blood, jelly, and solutions of synthetic detergents. Colloids are also known as colloidal solutions. Now dear students, we have to do some experiment and observe what a result got it. Here in a true solution, the solute particles are so small that they cannot scatter light rays falling on them. You can see in this figure. But in a colloidal solution, the particles are big enough to scatter light. If a beam of light is put on a colloidal solution kept in a beaker in a dark room, the path of light beam is illuminated and becomes visible when seen from the side. You can see easily in this figure. The path of light beam becomes visible because the colloidal particles are big enough to scatter light falling on them in all the directions. This scattered light enters our eyes and we are able to see the path of light beam. So dear students, here the scattering of light by colloidal particles is known as Tyndall effect. The scattering of light by colloidal solutions tells us that the colloidal particles are much bigger than the particles of a true solution, and hence colloidal solutions are not true solutions. So a true solution can be distinguished from a colloidal solution by the fact that a true solution doesn't scatter a beam of light passing through it, but a colloidal solution scatters a beam of light passing through it and renders its path visible. In other words, you may say true solution doesn't show Tyndall effect, but colloidal solution shows Tyndall effect. These questions are very common. You have to face time to time in your examinations. The particles of some of the colloidal solution can be seen through a high powerful microscope. For example, if a drop of milk is examined under microscope, we can see the small particles of fat floating in the liquid. You must have seen at your home also, when your mama is churning milk and separating makhan from it. That is the particles that is floating over that. That is shows the particles are not mixing completely in that particular solution. So it is colloids, not a true solution. This observation shows that colloids are heterogeneous in nature, though they appear to be homogeneous. Some important common properties are: first one is a colloid appears to be homogeneous, but actually it is heterogeneous. The size of particles in a colloid is bigger than those in a true solution, but smaller than those in a suspension. It is between 1 nanometer and 100 nanometer in diameter. Third, the particles of most of the colloids cannot be seen even with a microscope. The particles of a colloid can pass through a filter paper, so a colloid cannot be separated by filtration. Here, the next, the colloids are quite stable. The particles of a colloid do not separate out on keeping. A colloid scatters a beam of light passing through it. Means because its particles are fairly large, that is why it's allow light to pass through it. Classification of colloids. Colloids are classified into the following 7 groups. First, sol. Second, solid sol. Third, aerosols. Fourth, emulsion. Fifth, foam. Sixth, solid foam. And seventh one is gel. All these are the technical names of the groups of colloids. Now, we shall discuss these all one by one in this class. Before going to next, I would like to remind you what I had discussed earlier: dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Dispersed phase means solid particles and dispersion medium means solvent. So let's start with sol. Sol is a colloid in which tiny solid particles are dispersed in a liquid medium. Means here solid particles are dispersed phase and liquid medium is dispersion medium. The examples of sols are ink, soap solution, starch solution and most paints. The next, Solid sol. Solid sol is a colloid in which solid particles are disposed in a solid medium. Means here disposed phase as well as dispersion medium both are solids only. The examples of solid sol is colored gemstone like ruby. You can see in figure. Next, aerosol. An aerosol is a colloid in which a solid or liquid is disposed in a gas. Means here disposed phase may be solid or liquid, but dispersion medium will be gas. The examples of aerosols in which a solid is disposed in a gas are smoke and automobile exhaust. The examples of aerosols in which a liquid is disposed in a gas are hairspray, fog, mist and clouds. Now next, emulsion. An emulsion is a colloid in which minute droplets of one liquid are disposed in another liquid. Means here disposed phase and dispersion medium both are liquids only, which is not miscible with it. Examples of emulsions are milk, butter and face cream, etc. Now next, foam. The foam is a colloid in which a gas is disposed in a liquid medium. The examples of foam are fire extinguishers foam, soap bubbles, shaving cream and beer foam. Now the next, solid foam. The solid foam is a colloid in which a gas is disposed in a solid medium. Means here gas is disposed phase and solid medium, that is the dispersion medium. The examples of solid foam are insulating foam, foam rubber, sponge and braid. Next, gel. The gel is a semi-solid colloid in which there is a continuous network of solid particles disposed in a liquid. The examples of gel are jellies, gelatins and hair gel, etc.